Gentlemen, if you've ever found yourself standing in the bathroom at 2:17 in the morning, staring at the wall, waiting for something that used to happen effortlessly, you're not alone. Maybe it's the weak stream. Maybe it's that frustrating stop and start feeling. Maybe it's the way your sleep gets broken 2, 3, even 4 times a night. And during the day, that subtle pressure, that constant awareness of where the nearest restroom is, that quiet worry you don't always talk about. I've sat across from thousands of men over the years, good men in their late 50s, 60s, 70s, who tell me the same thing. Doc, I just don't feel like my body works the way it used to. And what frustrates them most isn't just the symptom, it's the feeling of losing control, losing confidence, losing sleep. Some have already tried medications, some are hesitant, many are skeptical of anything that sounds too simple. But here's something I want you to consider carefully today. One specific nut, something you can hold in the palm of your hand, has been shown to help reduce the enlargement of the prostate and support urinary flow naturally. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? And one of the 5 foods we'll talk about today is so powerful, I recommend it daily to many of my patients. I'll explain why in a moment. Before we get into that, let me ask you something. If this conversation is relevant to you, if you are over 55 and you've noticed changes in urination, energy, or circulation, take a second to like this video. It helps more men find practical, evidence-based information. And in the comments, tell me where you're watching from. I always enjoy seeing how many of you are tuning in from around the world. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We talk honestly about men's health. No hype, no gimmicks, just calm guidance. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body. Most urinary symptoms in men over 50 are related to something called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Benign means non-cancerous, but benign does not mean harmless. Think of your prostate as a walnut-sized gland that sits just below your bladder. The urethra, the tube that carries urine out of your body, runs directly through the center of it. Now, picture this. Imagine your bladder is a water tank, the urethra is the garden hose, and your prostate is the clamp wrapped around that hose. When you're younger, that clamp is loose, flow is strong, efficient, quiet. But as men age, the prostate often grows gradually larger, not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly enough that one day you notice something's different. As the prostate enlarges, it gently compresses the urethra. That garden hose gets squeezed. And what happens when you squeeze a hose? The stream weakens. It sputters. It takes longer to empty the tank. And because your bladder never fully empties, it sends signals to go again, especially at night. Now here's what most men don't realize. Prostate enlargement isn't just about size, it's about inflammation, hormonal shifts, blood flow, oxidative stress. Testosterone naturally changes as we age. Some of it converts into a hormone called DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which plays a role in prostate growth. At the same time, low-grade inflammation increases. Blood vessels become slightly stiffer. Circulation isn't as efficient as it once was. It becomes a traffic jam inside a very small space. And when blood flow to the pelvic region decreases, tissues don't repair as efficiently. Swelling lingers. Cellular stress accumulates. That's why this isn't just a plumbing problem, it's a metabolic and vascular issue. The prostate is deeply connected to your heart health, your circulation, your weight, your insulin sensitivity, even your sleep. Broken sleep alone raises inflammatory markers in the body, and inflammation fuels further enlargement. It becomes a cycle. Now, I want to be clear, there is absolutely a place for medications. Some men truly need them, but many of my patients ask me the same question. Is there anything natural I can do before I go down that road? And the honest answer is yes. Dietary patterns influence inflammation, specific micronutrients affect prostate cell growth, certain compounds improve nitric oxide production, which relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation in the pelvic region. And this is where that simple nut comes in. But before I reveal it and explain why it stands above the rest, you need to understand the foundation. When we target prostate health naturally, we aim to reduce inflammation, improve blood vessel flexibility, support healthy hormone balance, lower oxidative stress, improve bladder efficiency. When those 5 pillars improve, symptoms often improve. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily. And that steady improvement restores something more important than just urinary flow. It restores confidence. Now that you understand what's really happening inside your body, let's talk about the first food that supports those 5 pillars. All right, gentlemen, let's walk through this step by step, beginning with number 5. Number 5, fatty fish. Cold water fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel contain omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These healthy fats are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Inflammation is one of the primary drivers of prostate swelling. Omega-3s help calm inflammatory pathways in the body and improve vascular flexibility. Think of your blood vessels like rubber tubing. When they're flexible, blood flows smoothly. When they stiffen, flow becomes restricted. Clinical research has observed that higher omega-3 intake is associated with better urinary symptom scores in aging men. Practical use? 2 servings per week, about 3 to 4 ounces per serving. Do you already include fatty fish in your diet? Number 4, pumpkin seeds. Small but potent. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, a mineral heavily concentrated in prostate tissue. Zinc plays a role in hormone metabolism and helps regulate DHT activity. They also contain plant sterols, which may support healthy prostate size. Several clinical trials have observed improved urinary flow and reduced nighttime urination in men supplementing with pumpkin seed extract. A small handful per day, about 1 ounce, is sufficient. Simple, accessible. Number 3. Tomatoes, especially cooked tomatoes. Why cooked? Because heat increases the availability of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant. Lycopene helps neutralize oxidative stress within prostate tissue. It also appears to support healthy cell growth regulation. Oxidative stress is like internal rust, and prostate cells are particularly vulnerable to it as we age. Tomato paste, tomato sauce, or lightly cooked tomatoes a few times per week can be beneficial. Number 2, green tea. Green tea contains catechins, plant compounds that support cellular protection and reduce inflammatory signaling. One of its key benefits is supporting nitric oxide pathways, which improve blood flow. Better blood flow means better nutrient delivery to pelvic tissues. 2 cups daily is a reasonable amount for most men. Now, we come to the one I consider the most powerful, and it's likely sitting in your kitchen or available at any grocery store. It's not exotic, it's not expensive, but its effect on prostate physiology is remarkable. Let's talk about it.
Number 1, walnuts. Yes, a walnut. This is the nut I recommend most often. Here's why. Walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. They also contain polyphenols, gamma-tocopherol, a form of vitamin E, magnesium, and arginine. Arginine is particularly important. Arginine is a precursor to nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels. When nitric oxide increases, blood vessels widen slightly. Circulation improves. Oxygen delivery improves. Inflammation signaling decreases. And better circulation in the pelvic region means reduced tissue stress inside the prostate. But that's not all. Walnuts also support endothelial function, that delicate inner lining of blood vessels. When endothelial health improves, vascular stiffness decreases. Remember that garden hose analogy? Walnuts help relax the clamp. A clinical dietary intervention study observed that men who incorporated walnuts regularly showed improvements in vascular markers and reduced inflammatory indicators. Now, here's something most men don't realize. The prostate thrives in a low inflammation, well oxygenated environment. When you reduce oxidative stress and improve microcirculation, you're not just addressing symptoms, you're influencing the environment in which prostate cells live. Practical use? A small handful per day, about 7 to 10 walnut halves. Consistency matters more than quantity. But, and this is critical, walnuts are not magic. They work best when integrated into a lifestyle rhythm. Daily movement improves pelvic circulation. Even a 20-minute brisk walk increases nitric oxide production. Hydration supports bladder efficiency. Weight management reduces hormonal imbalance and inflammatory load. Sleep, deep, uninterrupted sleep, regulates testosterone and inflammatory cytokines. Stress reduction lowers cortisol, which influences hormone conversion pathways. Think of walnuts as part of a daily ritual. Morning, a handful with breakfast. Midday, movement. Evening, light dinner, proper hydration timing. You are not broken. Aging does not mean inevitable decline. The male body is incredibly adaptive. It responds to small, consistent inputs. I've seen men in their late 60s dramatically improve urinary flow, reduce nighttime awakenings, and regain energy, not because of a miracle pill, but because they adjusted daily patterns. And here's what I want you to remember. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. If this conversation resonated with you, subscribe. We'll continue discussing practical ways to support your prostate, circulation, and energy naturally. In the comments, tell me, have you tried walnuts regularly, or are you willing to start this week? And if you know another man quietly struggling with nighttime urination, share this with him, because small daily choices, repeated over months, create powerful change. I'll see you in the next video.